I'm Jerry Masters, and I was engineer here at FAME in 1969, 1970. Well, I was playing clubs at night and going in the studio by myself, and so I took a radio and put it out in the studio on a chair and put a mic in front of it. I don't even know what kind of mic it was, and plugged it in the wall, looked at the number, went into the control room, found the number. It took me 2 weeks to get sound to come from that microphone into the console. Then it took me another 2 weeks to learn how to get the signal from the console to the tape machine. But I just totally self-taught. After Patches, your dad came out in the hall and said, "I really enjoyed working with you, man. You did a good job." I said, "Thanks." I said, "And I need a job." And he said, "Well, I can't hire a full-time bass player." I said, "I know, but I'm an engineer too." I'd never cut a record before in my life, but I knew what a band was supposed to sound like. And all I did was turn knobs till I got it sounding the way a band ought to sound. And worked at Muscle Shoals Sound for 7 years, for a period of about 3.5 years while I was there. Whenever the top 10 would come out, we would have at least 3 records in the top 10. But our rhythm section, they called them the Swampers. Paul Simon officially made me the 5th Swamper. We were cutting the only record that Paul and Artie had done together after they'd broken up. We were just people there with a purpose. We knew how to work together productively. They just kept on coming, man. It started with the staple singers, and I'll Take You There, Respect Yourself. That was my first platinum and gold record. We did a lot of work for Stax. What's his name? Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right, Luther Ingram. We just became a track factory. We were there to cut a hit for our artist, and we would do whatever it took, but we were so together. As a matter of fact, that we did that on Patches, if I'm not mistaken, or One Bad Apple. Your dad and I, we did 25 mixes on One Bad Apple, and we finally narrowed it down to 15. Then we narrowed it down to 7. Then we narrowed it down to 3, and we both made ourselves copies of the mixes, and we agreed to meet the next morning and decide which one is the best mix. He said, "Well, which one do you think it is?" I said, "It's number 2. He said, "Wrong." And he would go around with a brush, a drum brush, looking for a shaker sound, and he'd swish it on everything in the room, man, trying to get that right shaker feel. He was very creative, man. He knew how to make hit records. What I would do is get levels and mix on everything, and then your dad would come down and just sit down and make any corrections he wanted to make that he could work under, I learned a lot from your dad. I really did. When I produced records, I would usually have an engineer to do the recording so that I could talk with the artist or whoever was overdubbing or something. But I would do the mixes, the final mixes. I love echo chambers. I like this one out here. That's a good sounding natural chamber. It really is. There's a saying out there, Muscle Shoals, small town, big sound. It's true. Muscle Shoals records are totally different than most records around the country. Every mix I've ever done, every session I've ever done, I always wanted to say, I wish I could have gone back and done this or done that. But music, when I'm mixing records, I felt different instruments in different parts of my body. I would know, my body would tell me when I had a good mix, Never, any studio I've ever been in my life, compares to what we get in here and what we got over there. But I've had a good life, man. I've been blessed to always be in the right place at the right time. I've done close to 700 major recording sessions. Music is in me. It's the music in me. And it's in everybody else that works in this business, in this town. We all have purpose. Every day is a gift, and we fulfill that purpose by listening.